So this is your tuning guide for the Generation 3 wave sail. I've got two sails right here. So I have a 4.2, which is kind of in the middle of the 3 batten range of the wave sails, because the 3.3 up to 4.7 have 3 battens, the 5.2 and the 5.6 have 4 battens. The rigging is slightly different on those sails. Also the purpose of those sails are slightly different. So I'm just going to run you through the setup for each of these sails. First of all, the 4.7 all the way down to 3.3 are sails that are supposed to be used with wind. The focus is on planing, control in the air for jumping, as well as wave riding with more wind, where the 5.2 and the 5.6 are more like float and ride kind of sails. They do plane really nicely, but their strengths are it's a really light wave sail, really light in the hands, it engages the rail very easily, and it's really good for wave riding, especially in the 5.2 and the 5.6 when the wind is a lot lighter. So that's why they have quite a different setup. And you can see it right away if you look, for example, at the 4.2. We have quite a lot of release right above the boom and allowing this batten to open up, which makes the sail quite high-end oriented. Where, for example, on the 5.2, there's a little bit less of that, and this batten is definitely standing up a bit more, and there's a little bit less general twist as well. So those are two main differences between the 3 batten and the 4 batten version in the sizes. If you do want to ride some like jumping for lighter winds, 5.0, 5.4, 5.8 crossover are extremely well suited for onshore conditions. We highly recommend you use those sails for onshore conditions, where the wave sail really is for wave riding down the line on the 5.2 and 5.6, where the 4.7 and down, they are really good for jumping as well. These jump as well, but not as good as a crossover. For the tuning, we're going to set it up the downhaul first. Really important, foot batten should be overlapping the mast by about 10 millimeters. The batten above the boom should barely be touching the mast on setup. The batten tension, a really important one. Foot batten, we can put some tension on a wave sail. I never like to ride too much tension, there's no need for it. But we can set up some tension to make sure that we maximize the shaping that's in the sail. So we remove the wrinkles and add maybe 1 or 2 full turns to the batten tensioner. On the one above the boom, depending a little bit on the riding, if you're riding a bit more onshore conditions, you can put a little bit more tension here. It will tighten up the mid-leech and give you a bit more drive. If you're riding more down the line or more overpowered conditions, you can release some tension on this batten and it will release the leech a little bit as well. For the top batten, it's a really nice feature is that if the sail is a bit too open at the head, we can simply add some tension to the top batten and we'll automatically close up the head of the sail a little bit, create a little bit more even leech tension and allow the sail to twist a little bit more as one. So on the top batten, pretty much the tension is depending on how much it's open at the head. If you're using a north mast like we're doing here, it should be relatively tight without much tension, but if you're using a different brand mast, you might be able to get the sail to rig correctly with a little bit more or less tension on the top batten. On the 5.2, the batten tension is slightly different. Foot batten, exactly the same. We just want to fill in all the profile that's in the sail and make sure we maximize it. On the batten above the boom, as it's a relatively closer to the boom compared to the 3 batten sizes, we can actually put a little bit of tension here without hurting the sail too much. So you can put wrinkles plus maybe a full turn. Batten number 2, so the second one from the top, I would really not put any more tension than just removing the wrinkles. And the top batten, the same as on the 4.2, we can play with to try and reduce the flopping of the head. So if you have a head that's a little bit more open than you would like, you can put a little bit of tension on the top batten and the head will close up and the sail will clean up in the leech. For the downhaul tension, the 5.2 pretty much the same as the 4 batten sails, pretty much the same as the 3 batten sails. We have about 10 to 15 millimeter overlap on the foot batten and about 0 overlap to just clearing the mast on the one above the boom. Then you're at the right downhaul settings. The outhaul settings on both sails is really depending on the conditions. If you feel that the sail is a little bit too neutral or a little bit unsettled in your hands, you might want to release a little bit of downhaul tension. It gives the sail a little bit of a deeper profile and locks the sail in a little bit more. This is the same on the bigger sizes as it is on the smaller sizes. And the outhaul can pretty much be used to kind of trim the power in and out of the sail depending on the wind conditions and your state of use on the sail. So if you're underpowered, you release a little bit of downhaul tension. If you're overpowered, you increase a little bit of downhaul tension, super easy. On these sails, as they're molded on the mold, we are not putting the shaping under the batten, so we can see on both sails, we can see it on the 5.2 as well as on the 4.2. There's a little bit of extra material right here. We get a lot of questions about that. This material is here because we want the deepest part of the sail to be right here, but we don't want to support it by a batten because that batten would run straight to the window. That batten would mess up your twist. So we don't want to put a batten here, but we do want to have shaping here. The unique thing that we have with 3DI is that we're able to place the shaping exactly where we like it, which is here, independent from the batten position. So we have a maximum depth right here, but the batten's right here, meaning that we have some wrinkles which actually fill in really easily. As soon as the wind comes into the sail, you can see just by my hands pretending to be the wind that the sail is filling in completely, and you can clearly see that the deepest area is actually right here where you want it. It's going to give you the most drive in the bottom turn. As it is nice and forward, it's also going to give you a really nice stable platform to work with when you're jumping or wave riding or anything like that. So that's it. That should help you to get the most out of your sails. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do, and lots of fun on the water.